You might be wondering, what are these pouches and why do I have so many of them? Well, there's a simple answer. This is the Notorious EDC AGP pouch. It stands for All Good Pouch. And the reason I have so many of them is quite honestly probably because I'm a little OCD. But if you want to stick around and find out what I keep in them, what I use them for, everything like that, then we'll get into that and I'll try and get through everything as quickly as possible. Before we go too much further, I want to talk about this pouch right here. This was my very first AGP pouch. I tried for 4 months to get my hands on one. And even on the secondary market, it took me, well, a while. This particular one is a no crow version, so there's no Velcro anywhere on it. This is just the one I was able to get my hands on. Now, thankfully, Tom has done a great job of keeping them in stock. They're in stock now. They've been pretty steadily in stock for the last year, so if you do want to get your hands on one of these, you should be able to without hunting around for a long time. This was also my main go-to pouch up until Blade Show this year, 2026, when I replaced it with this one, but we'll get into that. And this one is currently empty because I have not found a new use for it. Also, the purple one here has a couple purple patches here. I was gonna stuff it with purple gear because, you know, I like everything to match. And I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So this is also empty and just waiting on budget, like everything. All right, that narrows it down, and I'm going to start with this right here. This pouch is kind of the gold standard, right? This is what I would like most of, not this one, but most of these to replicate. It has a whole bunch of gear in there that I don't want to keep in my pockets, but that I want easily accessible. Stuff that I might not use every single day, but when I need it, I need it. So this right here, if I go on a motorcycle trip, it goes in the saddlebag. Most of the time it lives in my camera bag. My camera bag goes almost everywhere with me. If I go on a trip, this is with me, or a different substitute, but we'll get into that. So this right here is close of a color to titanium as he has. There's a slight green tint to it, but it looks pretty gray. And then on this side, I have my black and white patches on the Velcro side. On the front here, we have a little zipper pouch. I don't keep anything in any of my front zipper pouches. Maybe I will eventually, but right now I don't. Now let's get to the good stuff. Inside, we have a little Notorious EDC lens cloth. Could be a hank. Just, I find it useful to have something separating the sides so they're not always scratching on each other. Get rid of that. Let's start over here with the pen. I don't always have a pen in my pocket. I don't always need a pen. But when you do need a pen, you need a pen. And so this right here is the Big Idea Design baseline bolt. This is about as affordable as you can get for a titanium pen. They're about $65. So they're not cheap as far as pens go, but when you start looking at titanium pens, this is very affordable. Then we're gonna get into another item by Big Idea Design, and this is probably the most used tool in it. Not probably, this is the most used tool in here. And this is the Bit Bar Inline Max. So there's a lot of words in a lot of these names, and so if I stumble over them, sorry. I've had coffee today, I promise. Anyway, the great thing about this is that it takes the Leatherman bits, so you get 2 different bit sizes on each of them. You get 4 bits on that side, 4 bits on that side for 8, and then 9, 10 with 1 in there. It can also fit into here. You got a nice T-bar. This isn't a review of this tool, but you never know when you're gonna need some bits, and this right here is the tool for the job most of the time. That actually leads us into this next thing here, and that is, it's a Leatherman bit extender, but this does 2 things. There's a reason why I keep it in the pouch. Sometimes this right here is a little bit too wide if I'm trying to get in somewhere small, and this allows me to just get in there and and access some smaller areas. It also allows me to put any kind of 1/4-inch bit, not just the Leatherman bits, onto this bit driver. So just opens up some versatility there. After that, things get pretty simple. We'll kind of speed down the line. This is an Olight i3T. It's one of the most affordable flashlights on the market in some configurations, not the titanium one, but it also comes in a ton of color variations. And as somebody who likes gear to match, I mean, that makes it a pretty obvious choice. So Olight i3T, I keep a flashlight in my pocket all the time, but it's always good to have a backup. This right here is a new addition to the pouch because it just came out, but this is the Notorious EDC Dirty Deeds pry bar. Again, in titanium, like everything in this pouch. Sorry, that's the theme. And you never know when you need a pry bar. I mean, it's not something I need every day. It's not something I always want to keep in my pocket. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing that day. But just having one in a pouch means I have access to it. And honestly, opening candles, paint cans, camera plate tool, it's great for that stuff. After that is again, Notorious EDC beer bomb. I promise it's not all Notorious EDC stuff, but Tom makes cool stuff. So what can I say? I'm gonna throw it in here. This is his beer bomb, obviously most iconic thing that he makes. And now I have a bottle opener all the time. Do I need it? Is it essential? No. Is it really cool? Yes. Do I have room in my pouch? Yes. So in it goes. And after that we have, it's not titanium, stainless steel, but it kind of matches, a SOG power pint. And honestly, I don't use most of the tools on it, but it's got pliers, a decent sized pliers, and pliers are just incredibly useful. Need them quite frequently. And so having those handy is just great. After that, we have what's in this pouch here. I have like some gauze pads and some other band-aids and whatnot, but the most interesting thing in here, if I can dig them out, there we go, lockpicks. Honestly, it might sound strange if you've never carried lockpicks around, but the amount of times that I run into situations where there's a locked gate and I call the person who is supposed to have unlocked it and they're like, hey, I can't get there for another hour. Sorry. And I ask, hey, can I just let myself in with some lockpicks? Yep, that's fine. Cool. Saves tons of times. And also there's times I lock myself out of my own stuff and now I can get back in. So it's a great skill to have and great inexpensive. I think this whole set was like $10 or something. So having some lockpicks handy can be quite useful and save a lot of time. And that wraps up everything in this titanium themed pouch here. So again, it's the gear that I don't need every single day, but it is very useful to have at arm's length, reach, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. All right, moving along, I'm gonna move on to this one next because it is a little bit different from the rest of them. This is a red little boo-boo kit. It's a little med pouch. It's not a trauma kit. I actually carry a trauma kit in my truck, my motorcycle, our van, everything like that. And I did a whole separate YouTube video on that. I'll link it in the description. But this is just your standard little first aid kit. This lives in my truck. I got a couple of these that kind of live in vehicles mostly. And yeah, we'll just quickly go through what I have in here. Over here, we have some antibiotic cream. I'm not even gonna bother pulling everything out because otherwise this video is gonna be like half hour long. Afterbite, because I live in Minnesota and you know, mosquito bites and all that, it's nice to have. Over here, Dramamine, you never know when you need that. Ibuprofen and Claritin in these little titanium vials here. And then tweezers for obvious reasons, a little bit of medical tape, and then eye drops. And then in here, I have like antiseptic wipes, some gauze, things like that. And then the most needed item of all is in the quick access pouch on the front, and that is just a ton of different sizes of band-aids up there. So just a nice little way to have a nice looking med kit that can just kind of go everywhere with you. Now moving along to OD green. This right here, again, if you're kind of seeing the theme, the patches, the coloration, might have some OD green gear inside. Again, nothing in this pouch here. But once we get inside, I don't have anything separating them. If you have any suggestions on an OD green hank that I could throw in here, I'd appreciate them because yeah, I should definitely add one here. So let's start up here. We have an OD green beer bomb. We have a 1 of 1 OD green SOG power pint. I am so lucky to have this. This thing looks amazing and obviously fits into this kit beautifully. Then I have a green NAF Lander, extra spare knife, and then my spare flashlight in here is the CWF Micro Click. This one is the Carry Commission Edition in OD green. Over here we have another Bit Bar Inline Max in Sniper Green. It looks just like OD green, but technically the Cerakote color is Sniper Green. That is what Big Idea Design chooses to use. And then their baseline bolt, again, in that same Sniper Green. And that's it. So really, we're trying to mimic what was in the titanium pouch just with green gear. Because sometimes I get on a kick where I want to carry some green stuff. I have a green wallet, green knife, green flashlight, and then I might want my pouch that goes in my camera bag or with me on a trip to match that green theme. But I don't always want to carry just titanium or green. Sometimes I like a little gold. Now, there's not a gold pouch. Tom, can we get a brass colored pouch, please? That'd be cool. But since we don't have one of those, I have some gold colored patches on here. These are my whiskey themed patches. This was really fun to try and collect all these, and now I have somewhere to display them. Then once we get inside, we have a brass colored hank by Erling EDC. And again, brass beer bomb, brass backup knife. This is a Swiss Army knife by Daily Customs. Then we have a brass bit driver. I can't remember which version this is, but this is by Griffin Company or Combat Beads. And there's no bit storage in here, so the bits live right up here. And if I'm gonna do like some knife maintenance or something like this, this is what I'm gonna grab over something like a Bit Bar Inline Max. It's just a little bit more comfortable for small detail work. You know, it's not something I'm gonna be using on a car engine, but that way I have a bit driver with me. And then a Olight i3T in brass. Over here, again, sticking with that baseline bolt from Big Idea Design for the pen in brass. And then a brass little pry bar, again, by Griffin Company. There's not a lot of companies that make gear in brass, so options are limited. I don't have a brass power pint because, you know, that doesn't exist. I would love to be able to match all of that gear in the titanium kit, but, you know, I gotta stick with a theme. And then last, and yeah, probably least, because black isn't something I carry a ton of, so this kit isn't fully fleshed out yet. But we have blacked out patches on here. And then once we get in here, we have a black hank, a black beer bomb, black power pint, a black Chavez skull key pry / bottle opener right there, a black Olight i3T, and then a black NAF Lander. I'm missing the pen. Actually, they do make the baseline bolt in black, so I should just go order one of those, and then this kit will be fairly well fleshed out as well. So I just need to do that, and it's something I haven't done yet. But anyway, this is the All Good pouch by Notorious EDC. I love it because I can match it to a whole bunch of my gear. I can have all these different sets for whatever mood I'm in. Brass, black, tie, OD green, and I don't know. There's something I like about it. And then to be able to have little first aid kits like this, these pouches are just useful for putting together little kits, right? For whatever. I mean, you could put one together for a little motorcycle kit. You could have a little fishing kit. You could have whatever hobbies you might have. You can just put together these little tailored tool pouches specifically for that activity, which I think is really fun. But that is all, folks. This is the Notorious EDC All Good pouch. Let me know in the comments, Would you carry something like this? Would you not? What would you use it for? Would you try and match stuff like me, be weird and crazy? Or would you just use it for different activities? Would you just have one? Would you try and match a whole bunch? I don't know, do you already use one? And if so, what do you use it for? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos from me, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you want other people to see this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.